So I wasn't always the long-haired, bearded, socialist metalhead you see before you. Back when I was 13, 14, 15, I had a big interest in bands such as My Chemical Romance, which is the one we're going to start listening to today, Paramore, Green Day, bands like Linkin Park, Fall Out Boy, all those kind of pop-punk / emo bands, 30 Seconds to Mars. And then from there, I went on to Slipknot, the heavier bands, Slipknot, Disturbed, bands like Avenged Sevenfold, those kind of heavier hard rock, kind of bordering into metal bands. And then I went on to Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and eventually it graduated, and now I'm listening to bands such as Havoc and Vader and Amon Amarth and bands like that. But before all that, I was into these pop-punk / emo bands, and I haven't got a lot of time for that genre of music today. Even when Fall Out Boy came back from their hiatus, I didn't really have time for it, because it's like Fall Out Boy started this genre, this trend, this style of music. And it was great in the early 2000s when they had it going with Thanks for the Memories and Sugar We're Going Down Swinging and stuff like that. But they came back onto a scene that was already saturated with bands that were very, very similar. Bands like You Me at 6, All Time Low, bands like that had taken the Fall Out Boy carbon copy, if you will, and it had made it so most bands on the scene were exactly the same, and it felt stale. And after that, I sort of fell out of love with emo and pop punk as a whole. But I'm going to try and get back into some of the old bands that I used to love in my early teenage years and just feel the nostalgia and give you guys a reaction. So let's get back into it.
Now come on,
wow.
to this tragic affair.
Wipe off that makeup, what sin is despair? What? Already, I mean, I'm singing along lyrics that I didn't even know that I still knew, and immediately that palm muting, and then come on to this tragic affair. It's nostalgia, but it's different because I haven't heard it in so long, almost 15 years. And it's like I'm reacting to something new, but something vaguely familiar as well. It's really, really weird, but I'm enjoying it so far.
On the black dress mixing with the light, you might wake up and notice you're someone you're not. If you look in the mirror and don't like what you see, you can find out firsthand
What it's like to be me.
So get around, piggies, and kiss this goodbye. I'd encourage your smiles. I expect you won't cry.
Ooh! Well, memory lane. Fun fact for you, this was actually the first album that I ever owned a physical possession of. I told my mum I was into this album, into this band, these guys, and come home from school the next day, and there was a copy of it just burned for me, just waiting. So that's how cool my mum is. She actually encouraged an interest in music, if you will. So yeah, shout out to my mum for that. But this was the first album I actually owned a physical hard copy of, even if it was burned. But already, man, that kick in, and I felt it, felt the energy. It's like being 13 again, seriously. There's a lot here too. There's a lot to this music I didn't notice 15 years ago. There's a lot of jazz with the clicking and the palm muting I didn't notice 13, 14 years ago. There's a lot to it. It's more layered than your average emo fan might realise.
Another contusion, my funeral.
And the acoustic guitars. I never even knew there was acoustic guitars in this song.
And I'll serve it in drag. You've got front row seats to the penitence bar. When I grow up, I want to be.
Oh, that's going to start next one now. We'll stop that. One hell of an intro song, one hell of an opening song. You've got a lot in there already. Powerful singing voice, you're showing that off. You've got palm muting, you've got jazz influences, you've got this swing between soft and heavy. It's one hell of a pulling in for fans and people who aren't even into your music, people who are just first time listeners. That's powerful. That was powerful, and it's like a trip down memory lane, but a trip to a place that's only vaguely familiar. It's very, very bizarre. So that was my first time hearing My Chemical Romance in 15 years. Best part of 2 decades. But yeah, I already feel like all warm and fuzzy inside, like I'm 13, 14 again. So it was one hell of a trip already. We're going to carry on, we're going to keep listening track by track to the album. I hope to see you in the next episode. Let me know if there's any other bands you want to see me dig into. Maybe even bands from your early days listening to music or whatever. But let me know so I can react. And keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing, sharing these videos. Thank you for watching. I shall see you next time.